Hi everyone, David here from daviddumaiaudio.com, and in this video, I'll be showing you guys how to make some water magic sound effects. All right, so the first thing we're going to want to do is to get some water recordings. So right now, I'm just using whatever was easiest for me, which is just me in my bathroom, in my bathtub, filling up water and moving my hands around. But really, if you're going to be making some, magic water sounds and you'll want something a bit more complex, you'll want to get some different sources. So stuff like, if you're going to the beach, getting some recordings of waves, or if you're just using a bucket and throwing water around, whatever, or using a hose. Anyways, different sources will get you different results. So, but yeah, this is what I'm using for this video. All right, once I've had all my recordings completed, I'll just import them into RX and I'll basically do some basic editing. So I am right now increasing the gain, removing some noise, some room noise, and just making the recordings a little bit louder so they're a bit more usable, and a bit of compression as well so that they are all somewhat even in volume. So yeah, once I do that, I'll export them all and we'll go into my DAW to do some further editing. All right, the next thing I'll do is import all my sounds into Nuendo. You can do the same thing in Cubase. I'm just using Nuendo. And basically what I'm going to do here is chop up the sound effects so that they become individual sound effects. So instead of having one big long recording, I'm going to chop them all up. And I'm going to export them really quickly using the macros that I've set up for myself. By the way, if you guys haven't seen that video, maybe I'll put a link in the description or somewhere. And yeah, it's basically all my favorite macros that I use for Cubase and Nuendo. So once I do that, I'm going to export them all out. And then we'll be ready to get started, I think. Hi everyone, so we're back in our session here, and what I like to do is just import my audio files, and I'll play you guys what I have here. And another one. And what I like to do is put these on my master bus here, is I'll put something like guitar rig, and then I'll just take a preset and I'll basically process these out, and so that I can have a processed version of this. So for example, if I look at this one, I would have something like that. So now what I can do is I would apply this on all of these and export them out separately, individually, with this preset on. So the reason for this is now I'll have all of these that are dry. These are my original recordings, and then I'm going to have some processed ones. So the stuff I'm looking for, though, when I'm choosing a preset, and I'll choose different presets, by the way, like to have different versions of the file. So if I'm just listening to this one, what I'm listening for is something with a lot of reverb or delay, because that's just going to work really well when you're doing spells or or any kind of magic sound. So that's what I'm looking for. So I found this one here. Maybe I'll mark it so I remember it. But let's see what else I can find. So let's try reverbs and delays. And this is basically how I go about and try to find stuff. So this one's interesting. I might use that one too. Let's try another one. See, I don't like stuff like this because, to my liking, it's a little. It's not really to my liking because it's a little too distorted. But that could be something that you're looking for. Again, it depends on the game and the sound that you're going for. But this could be something that you're doing. Let's try another. Again, this one a little too distorted for me. I kind of like that one. It's again some sort of distortion or something. Maybe it's this one. I would use that. So what I'm looking for is for an effect, a preset that really keeps the character of the sound of the water so that you still hear that water sound even though it's been processed. And like right now I'm showing you guys how to do this, using guitar rig, but really you can do this just because I'm trying to save on time. But I mean, you could go in and in your inserts and put whatever insert effects in there that you like, and put some reverb and whatever delays and a bit of distortion or light distortion, whatever saturation that you want on there. So it really depends on how you want to process them, what the outcome of the sound you want. But just to get an idea, this is the process I will do. So I'm going to export these now. And then I'll put them in a new folder. with a bunch of processed presets, and then I'll see you guys back for the next part of the video. All right, so I finished exporting all of my audio files, and I was able to get, I think 110, or no, 72 completely exported relatively quickly, plus I have the 38 original recordings that I have. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to import them first into S-Layer. So let's start with that. So I'm just going to drag and drop them in here. So I have 72. This is the process files. And I'm also going to include the non-process files, so the original recordings, so they can blend together and see what we can get. So I think altogether I have, let's see, 109. So I'm at 109. So I'm going to put 109 here. Go for samples. Okay. And let's just hear what we have. Let's move this back up. So already we get some sounds that are possibly usable, especially if I'm going to add some layers to it. So I'm just going to add a recenter here so I don't have too much stereo effect, and the sound stays at the center of the stereo field. So I'm finding right now that the effects that sound the best are the ones that are a lot lower on the keyboard, so a lot lower pitched. So to my ears, they sound better. I'm going to add some speed changes and some reverse to here and some phase randomizations just to see what happens. Now, once I have some that I like, I can start exporting them onto here. I'll do that again. All right, so this could be the first thing I do. And once I have these, then I can start organizing them into different types of sounds that I make. So, for example, like these might be more like whooshes. Oops. So like this one right here. Or it might just be like drips. Oh, stop that. I might categorize them into like low bubbles or something like that. And this one's more of like a wave, something like that. Anyway, so I'll start putting them together in bunches, and then I'll reprocess them. I might put them back into S layer and then reprocess them, and until I get sounds that I like. But again, already these are sounding okay. And what I can do also is, you know, I can add stuff like it's a bit of distortion. So I might add something like trash here. Let's just this one. A little too much for that one. Right, it just fills out the sound a bit more. So that's the first thing I might do. All right, so the next thing I might do is go into Whoosh and then create some sounds through here and go through the same process. So let's do some of that here. So I'm just going to get this ready. Randomize all the samples that I'm going to put in here. And then these are going to be my user banks. So I'm just going to grab a few here. And let's drag them in. There's some. And here. And there we go. So these are all processed sounds. 1 to 12. Good. Now let's hear what that sounds like. I'm going to mute the impacts. All right, now I might just record this and see what I can get. All right, so we get an idea of some stuff that we can get. So once we have these now, you can export them out and mix them with the other sounds that we've made. So let's say if I take one of these. I'm gonna have to mute this first. Let's turn that off. Let's say I took something like this. With something like these two here. Might want something more of an impact, so I might move it here. See what we can do with that. So this one's really wide, so I might try to hone it in to more of the center so it doesn't feel so disconnected from the other sound. And because it's starting so early, I might just reel that in a bit so it's not too early. And I'm getting a little thud on this one that I like, so I might just put something like Spectre just to bring it out a little bit more. Yeah, I like that. And now with that, I can add some other sounds. Let's see what else we got. Let's say I wanted something like this. This is a little bit too, sounds too much like a flyby or something like that. But let's see what we can do with it. Let's just hear this one. There you go. You can kind of build out something like this. What I normally like to do, though, is keep on working on my S layer version up here. So this is, this is Whoosh, but when I was working on S layer, I like to keep on bringing stuff in, categorizing my sounds together. So I get a bunch of whooshes, put them all together, and keep on working on those through S layer. Same thing with S layer, put all my process sounds and dry sounds together and put them and keep on processing them. So export them when I find sounds I like, just like I did down here. I exported them. I wouldn't layer them necessarily right away like I showed right now. I only do this if I have like a specific project or a specific sound that I'm going for. But if I'm just creating sounds just to get ideas or whatever, or just to get some layers out, then I'll just pump out sounds through S layer and see what I can get and see what I like, and then I'll use those as my layers, and when I do end up designing whatever sound I'm making. So I think that's it for this version, this way of making water element magic sounds. I hope you guys found that useful, and of course, this is not the only way of doing it. Might not necessarily be the best way of doing it. It's just one way that I do it, one way that I know it works, and one way that I have done it before. And of course, you can always, as you're building out these sounds, you can put more plugins on. Just like I was showing at the end there, I was putting on a delay plugin and a reverb to add that space to certain layers. And again, you can put in distortion stuff if you want more of a gritty sound. Again, it depends what you're going for, what you want. But yeah, so I hope you guys liked that video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.